All right, so last time we talked about the issues or like the problems you might expect coming out to your parents, right?
Yeah, especially if they're
This,
Asian and
it,
traditional.
yes, that is true. This time we're talking about something more personal. I think they're both personal, but a little
Yeah,
bit more personal. So, relationships. There's a lot. There's a lot of misconceptions about relationships in the LGBTQ community because one, people aren't used to it, and two, just jump straight to conclusions. So it's kind of weird. It's a very complicated subject, and some people don't like talking about it. Well, today we're talking about it. So,
yeah,
my question to you is, how are relationships like for someone who is bi? How is
yeah,
that
yeah,
different? You know?
yeah. I mean, it's not different for one. I think that's the
Mm-hmm.
main thing that I think people kind of get confused about, right? That it's like when I was talking with people, like I would get a lot of like, well, I had to correct them basically when they're like, oh, like if they're bi, that means like, oh, I might have to deal with them like cheating more, or
Wait, I
like you
never
know like
heard of that.
stuff like that. Well, I have, right, because I'm bi, and like
Yeah, yeah,
people
yeah.
say that kind of stuff all the time to me. That it's like, oh, like, well, you have like a larger pool of people to like, and that means like you must be more likely to blank blank blank. And I'm like, I feel like a lot of times it's just people's insecurities
Yeah.
playing off of things and then blaming it on another person's identity.
It's like
One big thing.
it's like they're getting cheated on because they're like trash partners, and they're like, "No," and, like you're just gonna cheat. Now you have more options. It's like, wait, that's so
No, and
weird.
that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, cheating is not on the identity, dude. Like
Yeah, cheating
cheating
is just
is
if the
your
person's trash.
character. Yeah, yeah. And that's why like a bunch of things, like whether we talk about polyamory or whether that person is bi or whether that person is pan, like that has nothing to do with cheating. Like all relationships require the same amount of like communication, care,
Yeah.
support, actually like loving each other, where it's like there are no differences, right? And I think
Mm.
that was a big thing when I was like especially for someone who like grew up like, you know, like our family. It's like they like it's only a like heteronormative thing. Relationship is the most normal, right? Anything outside of that, it's wrong. But when you think about it, it's like, why is that? It's like the wrong relationships. So the toxic relationships are those that like, if that person isn't treating you right, or if your partner is treating you like crap and all of that, it's like that's when you have to kind of see like, do you want to be in that relationship? And that's why polyamory, just to quickly touch on that a little bit, but it's like, if you think about, so do you know what polyamory is?
Kind of. You might have to touch up on that.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
So
I've heard of it, but it
yeah,
might not be the same thing because there's another word that is very similar
yes, yes.
to that.
So polygamy and polyamory are very different.
Okay, okay, that's the
So polygamy is like when you like marry multiple people, and
okay.
it's
Yeah,
usually
yeah, yeah.
like people just have multiple wives as for like trophies or like
Yeah,
stuff like that.
my
It's
friends have
not
talked about
okay.
that one. I know that one.
Yeah. Polyamory is when a person and people have relationships with more than one person as a romantic partner, basically. And the simplest way to say it is just that like you are not you don't only have that one other person. You have multiple people that you like, one or like two or more people that you really care for and you have romantic interest in, and that you are both committed to,
That's so
or
much
depending
work.
on hey, it works for
Not
some
trying to
people.
judge, but that seems like a lot of work.
I mean, for you, it's something that you might not think it works out,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's like I think also it's like for I agree where it's like with my current like lifestyle, like I sometimes don't even think I'm ready for dating anyone at all, right? Just because
Yeah.
like it work like relationships require time, right? Because if
Hmm.
you put in that amount of care, which is why like polyamory is the same thing. Like I think people get confused. It's like, oh well, you're like balancing out time and like effort and love, but it's like if you remember like the thing I think someone was telling me about, like that like this like Buddhist like quote of like love is like a flame, right? It's like a candle, like when you
Mm.
move it on, it doesn't like the flame doesn't grow, like it doesn't disappear, right? It just
Mm.
spreads that flame. And I think it's like that's the thing, right? um polyamory is just that. So that was just a little bit of like me explaining like misconceptions, right? Because this has nothing to do with your identity, like the cheating, like not being like faithful. It's like, and even it's like if you discuss it and you have communication and it's an open relationship where, you know, I've been in an open relationship, like if that's something that happens, that's also okay. It's like you just have to be sure that like you are constantly in communication with that person, and they know, and you both, or you and your partners, right, know know what to expect from each other. I think that's the most important thing. So there's really no difference, right, between like my relationships and a polyamorous relationship. That core of like communication is there, just the numbers may be different, the genders may be different, as in like who we date might be different, right? But yeah, again, there's no difference. But that's why there's like a lot of misconceptions. I want to see like, okay, so like what did you grow up hearing? Because usually I just tune it out because our parents are like kind of in that way.
Well,
I don't know.
That's the thing. Like, I don't really know. To be honest, I don't really remember our parents talking about dating. I think the only thing is like, you know how Asian parents are like, you can only date Asians, so you can only date whatever, like certain races. That's like the only thing I remember. Other than that, I don't really know. I don't know what like a actual healthy relationship is, because our parents don't really you know, they don't exactly show
like
what a healthy
love in a
relationship
healthy
is.
way, right? Yeah.
So it's like I'm confused on that. They don't really show any more relationship advice, because they probably don't know either. All they say is just date before you marry. Okay, cool. I think I think the only thing I have learned about is I guess nothing. It's all very normal stuff by just communication. And remember, I didn't learn this from my parents. I learned it from my cousin. All he said was like communication, always communicate, talk to your partner. That's about it. That's basically all I've heard. I have never heard of anything else. Like, there's media, there's movies, there's stuff like that, but I don't really look, I don't really analyze that stuff. Because nothing like that doesn't really interest me. So.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Was it weird then when I was in my first when you knew I was in a relationship?
I didn't. Oh, I can't say no. Let me rephrase it. I didn't mind.
Yeah.
I'll just say it bluntly. I didn't care because it doesn't affect me. It doesn't there's nothing like what does you being in a relationship have to do with me? Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, oh, cool, you're in a relationship. The person's kind of weird, but I'm not gonna judge.
Yeah.
I judge silently with all my friends.
I think what's it called, like basically, right?
Yeah.
I think, and that's why I was like, I think it was kind of like good that our parents didn't really dive deep into it, because it's like that whole thing of like we don't talk about like sex or relationship or like
we don't talk about love. We don't talk about passion.
Basically, right?
Like loving your children. Words of encouragement. No.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's why it was like, oh, I didn't have to break down too many misconceptions, or I didn't have a lot of like contradictory thoughts when I first had my like relationship, right? Like with the girl, right?
Yeah.
So then that's why it wasn't that bad, I think, for me to like connect those two dots of like, oh, like this is something that happens and whatnot. But like I know like other students, like my peers have said stuff, but I'm like, also it's like whatever, I just correct them, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, that's good though. I don't think we grew up with that much of a misconception of like what normal relationships look like, because also I think we kind of knew that, like, say like with our parents, right, like what is healthy versus what is not healthy, we could see like through our other like people in our lives that already were in like relationships, right, like our cousins and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I guess the only, now that you say it like that, and the only thing they have told me is like I said, the gender, like the race thing, but then they're like, oh, you have to, I guess that doesn't. They didn't really necessarily say like, does this work? It's like they said don't date. They tell me don't date guys, but if you date a girl, don't date certain races. That's like the only thing I heard. That's about it. Nothing else.
Yeah. Like they were very point blank about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I chose to ignore that because I feel like they also kind of avoided the topic as much as possible.
Probably. I
With
think
me, at
they
least.
themselves think relationships very weird.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
think like what were you gonna
talking
say?
about relationships because they all don't have experience. Like our dad, mom, and grandma don't have experience on dating, so they can't really tell us. And having a good relationship,
Yeah.
they still can't tell us because they don't have a good relationship anyways.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
yeah, sex is a different topic, but they're also really awkward about that, so they just don't bring that up.
Yeah.
And when they do,
Yeah.
it's hella awkward, but it's
Yeah.
like so little that doesn't really matter.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think that's why I was trying to like think back like to like when I first had my relationship, especially as a queer relationship. I was like, oh, like a lot of the times I just didn't say anything or like I didn't bring up anything or communicate. I think that was the biggest thing, which is I was like, oh, it's like nothing different from any other relationship, which is why I was
Yeah.
like, oh wait, like this is like totally normal considering like the experiences that people have. But yeah. I think that was it. I had a pretty like
Communication is like a very interesting topic for relationships because I don't know, it's just weird. People don't really know how to talk or like speak their minds or communicate, like voice their opinions.
yeah.
But yeah, that's all I was gonna say.
Yeah. I think no, I agree. I think like in the end, like what I've learned is that like especially with all that stuff and like having a relationship like when I was like younger, like say like like just not when I knew like what was like necessarily like I knew what was
Good.
expected of me but not like what I needed or wanted, right? So then it's like at that point it's like just how do you say a pot full of like we don't know what's happening.
Yeah, which is I think
Yeah.
typical, especially for high school relationships. No one knows what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
They're kind of
Yeah.
just doing it because they hormones. I think that's it, just hormones.
Yeah. I think that's why I was like, for me, it wasn't that big of a deal. I was like, that's why I was like, I think there's like relationships that were like very like queer relationships like when they're younger that were very different, especially if they were a much older generation than I was. It's like obviously things needed to be more secretive or like it felt like less normal. But I think
Yeah.
that's why it's like considering how like confusing everything was already, I just contributed the fact of like, oh, I'm dating a girl with like, oh, everything else is just as confusing, right?
Yeah.
And then like I think I also got lucky with like the school we were at, because it's not like people like were like against anything, they just didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing that runs along all lines of like my life originally, right? Like just no
Yeah.
one will talk about it. So I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna keep doing what I do.
Yeah.
And then
There's much weirder people. And I'm pretty sure if they were talking about it, you'd probably find out, or you might not, because rumors go around the school, and pretty sure there's been weird stuff spreading around about everyone. So
yeah.
I wouldn't
yeah,
be surprised,
Yeah.
because everyone's also dumb.
Yeah. Like I mean at that age I was like with the people that we knew, did you think our like school was pretty like how did you think our school would react technically? Because like I have a biased like opinion because I was involved in different things that were already involved with like just being in the community and stuff like that. But for like someone who wasn't, did the school feel like
I think I wouldn't say the school is inclusive. I honestly wouldn't. I just think the school is very like secretive. They would cover up stuff. Like not saying like someone would get killed and like let's cover up the what. No. Like just they wouldn't talk about certain things. But I do know like rumors do spread, right? But from what I heard, is that rumors spread about more popular people. No offense to you.
I
No
was
offense
thank
to anyone.
God no
Yeah.
I don't
Because
I
all
don't
the
wanna be
rumors I
there.
heard, or at least for my grade, was that, oh, this really popular guy had this problem, or this really popular girl had this problem. It's like, it's just, it's basically like that. It's like, if you're popular, rumors would spread about you.
Yeah. Like, it was a typical, like, high school, right? I think
Really
in terms
lame,
of that.
very shallow.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of stupid. I hate everyone.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, it's puberty, right? Like, it's like you think you're, like, top dog or, like, stuff like that. And after that,
it's like,
whatever.
but then you look in the mirror and you look like a stupid gnome that probably has IQ of 10.
We be nice.
I
Be
want
nice
to be
people.
nice. Yeah, but then you see what people say, and then you're like, I kind of don't want to be that nice.
I mean, it's like we're like describing their character, right? It's like they're just, yeah.
It's like the people that had rumors spread about them, in all honesty, were pretty bad people. They weren't like the nicer people. So I think to specify more is that rumors spread about weird people. No offense to weird people, like the ones whose
weird
social,
as in,
like, their social skills weren't like top, or they were like a lot, like, way into, let's say, like, anime or something, or they're way in, like, bored, like, nerds, or how they would describe as nerds. Basically they would have rumors spread about them. People who did really messed up stuff, like rape, stuff like that, or like sleeping with like 10, 20 different people, as like those would spread.
Yeah, just like the very like outrageous like things,
like
right?
really
like,
weird
or things that
things.
people didn't think were like like it was really off from like what people quote unquote think is like normal, right?
Yeah. And I think for you,
typical high school.
it might also be because you weren't like super popular where everyone knew you.
Thank
Plus,
goodness.
I'm also thinking people are also kind of dumb. They probably thought you were just good friends, because you do know that there were people, like guys, that would be really close with their guy friends, or girls be really close with their girlfriends, where it's like they just think they're just friends, right? Because I've seen girls holding hands and running around. I'm like, they're probably just friends. I've seen guys do the same thing, and like they're probably friends.
Yeah. I think that's why I was like, as much as it was like, okay, well, like our school doesn't talk about it, I was like, I still have a pretty like okay experience, like with that being my first relationship and within like the school that we were in, because I was like, oh yeah, like people didn't care enough to talk about it, and also people were just like pretty much in denial, just like sweep it under the rug, right? And the same thing that happens in our house, right?
Yeah, basically. But also maybe they like you enough where they just don't want to be mean. Right? Because people have told me you're a very nice person, so maybe they're just being nice.
Same to you. They said,
but we're not talking about me
really
right
nice.
now. We're not talking about me right now.
Listen, either way, I was just like thinking, I was like, yeah, I think like, I don't know. I had a very...
People are just nice.
Yeah. I think our school wasn't that bad in that case. Yeah.
Or maybe
I don't
not
have, like,
nice. I would say good actors and actresses.
Everyone kind of had to be in high school, right?
Yeah, because they would talk, like, spread rumors about you behind your back, but in front of you, they wouldn't say anything. But I don't know, because they never had rumors spread about me.
Same. Because like, yeah. And that's why I feel like, depending on where you were, like, in what positions you had, or like how you were seen by people, it's like,
yeah, basically. So yeah, that was, you know, relationships are interesting. But I haven't heard much like misconceptions about it.
Yeah.
But I know yours is different because you're bi, and I'm like, maybe closet. I don't know. I don't even know, dude.
Maybe closeted, you said?
I'm just kidding. I think I'm pretty open about it. But no one actually comes up to me and asks me stuff like that.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I'm kind of lucky in that way, where like my attitude matches everyone else's attitude. I'm like, you don't ask, I don't ask, we're chilling, right?
Yeah. Just keep to yourself, because high school, no one's worth talking to.
No, but honestly, like if people are in similar situations, like if like there's like bad rumors, like misconceptions, it's like definitely I hope that it's better now in terms of like what people say. I know like people are adding in like more education in terms of like inclusivity and like diversity within like high schools and stuff.
Plus, just remember, there's a lot of not that bright people in the world, right? They can't grasp the fact that people are different. So, no, there's also that.
Yeah, yeah, but it's fine. I think like people are learning because I was like even with like because I was working with the social justice peer education like at my local like resource center, right? And then like we added things about like relationships and like identities, and it's like different like organizations and different places actually take away like that workshop and actually like want to learn or like try to learn more about
Which
things
is good.
that they don't identify as, right? Yeah.
I think it's good if people are starting to try to learn more, be more educated on stuff.
I was like, especially like high school teachers, because I think high school teachers like have a lot of like, it's like at that point it's like the students are like at their like most the age where they like grow the most or like take in the most, right? Too. So then it's like, oh, like having people who know and will support you or like however you are at that age is like important, right?
Isn't that what teachers are supposed to do anyways?
Yes.
That's what I'm
thinking. Which is why it's important to like have that like education and stuff. So.
Yeah, which is good. It's like there's a lot more that goes into a relationship, but I think being educated and open-minded is probably the best, especially for this specific topic.
No, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, that's why I was like, also I think I'm bringing it up too. It's like if you really think that a place isn't like right for you or like the school isn't, even if it's a high school, you still have the chance to like leave if you want to, like if
that's
like,
also kind of hard.
It is hard, yeah.
It's
Other
like
thing is just make sure what were you gonna say?
Like if your parents don't let you, like if you're, because high school again, it's like you're living with your parents. If they can't move and you're stuck there, then you're kind of stuck there.
Yeah, or if you have a car, then it's possible. But other than that, you can always fight. I'll fight for you.
Yeah. Fighting
so
is fun.
hopefully high school has, or like just any time has been okay.
So I think college is like people are more open-minded.
Yeah,
or maybe in California.
Pool of people, I think that's like better. Yeah.
Well, when you're younger,
yeah,
you're a little bit dumber.
Or just like less educated, right, and ignorant.
Yeah, but there's still some people that I would still call them dumb. In all honesty, because they say they do some really questionable things. But not judging, I'm just saying they're still like they're like 20 or something and they still talk like they're 12. But I'm not here to judge.
At that point,
I'm not here to judge.
You say that a lot. Maybe you could. You're not judging them. You're just pointing it out.
Yeah, I'm pointing out the issue. You know, if I meet people like that, I won't call them out. I'll still talk to you, but
yeah, I mean, I think at some points it's like if you're ignorant about stuff and you're not trying to learn more about other people that are different from you, then like I think that's a problem. I think that's why it's like, especially when like people are first figuring out like their identity and first figuring out their like first relationship and things like that, it's like I think everyone around them should also make sure that they have the education and the right mindset of like just being open-minded and wanting to support no matter what. Like I was learning in class about parenting. I was like, support is the most important thing. So
yeah,
but yeah,
because if you don't get support when you're younger, it does kind of mess with your mind.
Yeah, especially like what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that then you get kind of like you don't know what's right, what's wrong, and you don't have the self-confidence to do your own thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's why it's like I don't think a lot of people's like some of the people's like first relationships or like within like when they were younger might be like mine, but if it's not and it's like not as good as an environment, yeah, I hope like a lot of that is just system things, and I hope that I think we're all trying to like make a change, and there's always like more what's it called, oh yeah, like so like say like there's a lot of like youth organizing things, or like there's like local like P flags, or it's like the parents of families. I think I'll search it up later. I've been so disconnected from that because I kind of moved the family portion of it. But like there are people out there that you could always talk to, or like invite your parents or like teachers to just like figure out and learn more and be more inclusive.
Just education. Learn more.
I think it
about
always
everything.
comes to that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But yeah, that's kind of like my first like story-ish a while ago.
story-ish,
Like it's
very
not that
big
big of
story.
a deal. Yeah. Cause I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
want to bring up names or like anything.
We just start calling out
Imagine just
people.
start calling out people. Yeah, yeah.
This
But
person,
that's how
oh
I
my
was
god.
like, I mean, considering everything, I'm like, I've learned a lot about myself and like figured out like what I needed. And I think that's the main thing where it's like literally like there's no difference between like
Yeah.
relationships in that way. It's just the core of it is just making sure you actually like each other and will support each other,
Yeah.
you know?
And
And
communication.
you are compatible. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah. Hopefully,
that's my spiel.
Damn. Hopefully y'all learned something. Because I did.
Did you?
Kind of.
That's good. I was like, this is also something where like you can ask. 'Cause I think I have a lot of things that I don't think I've talked to you yet, or like
Not on
I don't think you
relationships.
have
I can't-
access
I
to
can't
in
ask
terms of
you.
education.
Yeah, education, yes. But on relationship stuff, I don't think I could ask you.
No, I'll give you the best advice. What are you talking
I know, right? All right. No. We're going to have a dating tips and tricks from
I can't do that. That's definitely not something I could do.
Okay.
Imagine.
That'd be funny, though. If we made a dating tips and tricks.
Things not to do.
Things to do. All right. No, that might actually be an interesting topic.
I think
No,
so.
honestly, that'd be fun.
Yeah. That would be. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. All right. Thank you to everyone listening.
And if you have questions or anything, anytime,
yeah.
just like.
Comment or DM us. All right. Thank you.